The Nightbeat starts right now.
A family is distraught tonight after having to live another day without their daughter. Dad tells us about the accident and how his daughter's memory will live on.
Police are searching for a motive in the case of the stabbing death of a child, what the mother did moments after the stabbing.
A child loses her mother, now her father, all while battling blood cancer, and she's only 4 years old. Now your donations for cancer research are having a tangible effect on her treatment and well-being.
Those stories in just a minute, but first, we can't say it enough. Much rain is needed in the Alamo City. Rain chances expected to finally increase overnight.
And with the rain comes cooler temperatures to really get this fall season going. I got my fall colors on right now. But let's check in with meteorologist Mia Montgomery to tell us when we could see that rainfall and for how long.
Yeah, rainfall chances are expected to increase through the overnight hours. Also could make for a soggy start to the Monday morning drive. Now the front is actually pushing into the northern reaches of the area as we speak. Let's get a look at the radar. We're pretty quiet here in the San Antonio area this hour, but just off to our north, already seeing some of that activity closer to the Austin metro. And at the same time, because of some energy coming off of the mountains of Mexico, we're also keeping an eye on some storms tracking eastward, approaching the Rio Grande, even a storm that's now moving into southern Valverde County, just north of Del Rio. You can see where the front currently sits. Again, really just to the north of San Antonio. More scattered activity is behind that boundary, pushing through the central portions of the Lone Star State. Through the overnight hours, we are expecting that coverage to increase locally. And again, especially by the time you're stepping out for the Monday morning drive in spots, probably a good idea to keep your KSAT Weather Authority app handy, as well as the umbrella. Not a bad idea to send it with the kids to school as well. Now here in San Antonio, it's not going to be raining all day tomorrow. Better chances of finding that before lunchtime. Temperatures a lot cooler than what we found out there this weekend, and it's also going to be pretty breezy as well. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a few minutes, guys.
All right, thank you, Mia. A San Antonio family making funeral arrangements for their 4-year-old daughter. Kylie Ortega ran into the street in front of her mother's car, which accidentally ran her over.
I sat down with a dad who tells us although his daughter's life was cut short, her life still served a purpose.
I can read 2 books. Like, do you have a book?
Gotta send her so she can teach me how to love.
Heartbroken and in mourning, Javier Ortega reflected on memories with his 4-year-old daughter, Kylie.
Happy 4th birthday, Kylita, Mylita.
It's videos and pictures like these that he's tightly holding on to since her passing on Friday.
She was bright, smart, intelligent, knew all her colors. She could count. She could sing you almost any song. She's beautiful. She's just one of a kind.
Because he have a Sonic blanket.
Outside of Kylie's grandparents' home, a memorial now stands with balloons, pictures, and teddy bears. The tragedy happened as the family was waiting to be picked up by their mom. Kylie ran into the street in excitement, but her mom didn't see her. How's her mom doing?
I told her don't blame yourself, it's my fault. But it's just tragic. Horrible, horrible accident.
Javier explains Kylie was showered with love. She's the youngest girl in the family with 7 siblings. He adds although she was small, she had a big heart and was constantly showing affection.
I used to ask her, baby, what's the true meaning of love? And she would look at me and she would say, me, Daddy, I'm the true meaning of love because I love you.
Through his pain, he's trying to remain strong and get help for the entire family that is now scarred.
All my kids seen it. We were all outside. We were waiting for Mom to pull up. Therapy. We need therapy. We need counseling. I need to get my kids to be able to overcome this, to get through this.
Javier tells us they'll be having a viewing on Tuesday at the Castillo Funeral Home from 3 to 8 p.m. He says it's open to anyone who wants to pay their respects. He adds that they are still looking for a church to have a mass before burying Kylie.
Tragic story there. We now have the name of a man who was killed while changing a tire on I-37 last month. He's identified as Pedro Antonio Ramirez Pavon. That's according to the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office. The crash happened on I-37 South near Loop 410. Police say Ramirez Pavon was on the side of the road when the suspect hit him. He was pronounced dead at the scene from a head injury. Witnesses were able to give police a description of the suspect, who was then arrested. She's facing a charge of failure to stop and render aid, resulting in death. An argument between neighbors sent one person to the hospital with bullet wounds and left police searching for the suspect. This happened at a home on Price Avenue near Southwest Military Drive and New Laredo Highway. When police got to the scene, they found one man shot. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Police were given surveillance video of the suspect, which showed them driving off.
It was supposed to be a simple sale of a vehicle from Facebook Marketplace, but instead it turned into an aggravated armed robbery, according to San Antonio police. Two people showed up at the agreed location on San Pedro Avenue near North Star Mall, but they were met with two suspects, one of which was wearing a mask and acting suspicious. The victims told police the masked suspect allegedly showed them a gun and told them to get on their knees. The victims were robbed. The suspects took off. It's been nearly a week since Uvalde CISD Superintendent Hal Harrell's retirement was accepted by the school board. This move comes after successful protests by the Robb Elementary victims' families, who pushed for more accountability from the police department, leading to the suspension of that department. Happening Wednesday, Uvalde CISD special board meeting to discuss matters related to Harrell's retirement. On the agenda for closed session is a consultation with an attorney regarding legal issues related to the retirement and search process to hire a new superintendent. The board will consider and discuss the retirement and interview a possible interim superintendent.
In the U.S., someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer approximately every 3 minutes. That's why San Antonio lit up the night last weekend and raised over $1.2 million for research.
The night team's Lee Waldman spoke with a 4-year-old girl currently fighting leukemia and benefiting from that research, with two special angels watching over her.
Figurines.
Emery Cervantes has some big plans for her 5th birthday in December.
They're going to have a petting zoo. They're going to have a chocolate thing for the strawberries, right? Marshmallows.
The party is also to celebrate her remission, cancer-free after battling leukemia for 2 years now.
We still have to go for another 2 years for more stuff and checkups and stuff. But that would be great if she just stays healthy till December 17th so we can make it.
Grandma Linda Cervantes didn't plan the party. That was done by Emery's dad.
Her daddy is Johnny Ray Cervantes, and her mom is Jessica Brill.
Neither will be there to celebrate their baby girl.
She lost her mom on March 27, 2022. A drunk driver killed her in Southside. And so she just had daddy left, right? And then now daddy got cancer.
Johnny died September 29th, 21 days after his diagnosis. His heart giving out before treatment could start.
It hurt so bad. I expect him to come through the door to pick her up to take her in. And he's not coming.
Emery is still too young to fully understand.
Tell him, where's mommy and daddy? Where's mom?
Jesus.
With Jesus. They're in heaven, right? They're together.
Linda keeps the photos of Emery's mom and dad ready, along with stories about how much they loved her.
Superman.
That's her dad's favorite.
She's thankful Johnny taught her how to care for her granddaughter's cancer before he passed.
I'm real thankful that my son kind of gave me everything I needed before he left.
There are a few nonprofits helping Linda as she takes care of Emery. Gabriela's Smile Foundation here in San Antonio, and one campaign at a time. Now, before her dad died, Johnny wanted to take Emery to Disney World. Now, one campaign at a time is trying to make that happen. If you want to donate, we have a link on our website, KSAT.com. John Paul?
Thank you, Lee. A child is dead and a mother could be facing charges. This after deputies say the mother stabbed the child at a park. This happened in Harris County. According to deputies, the mother stabbed the child in the neck and then drove the child to an emergency room. By the time medical staff came to the vehicle to help, the child had died. Deputies add the child was between 5 or 6 years old. As of now, the motive is unclear.
We have more details about a fatal crash that left 5 people dead in Pearland, south of Houston. Police say a driver was having a medical emergency when they sped into another vehicle, forcing both of them off the road. The driver was the first vehicle was taken to the hospital, where they later died. 2 minors in that vehicle were injured and taken to the hospital. As for the other vehicle, 4 people, including a minor, died after being thrown from the car.
More than 70 cars were destroyed by a grass fire in Temple, that's 67 miles north of Austin. The cars were parked in a grassy field at the Robinson Family Farms Fall Festival celebration. The Bell County Fire Marshal believes someone threw out a cigarette in dry grass, sparking the blaze. Bell County is under a burn ban because of extreme drought conditions. Fortunately, no one was injured.
Well, if you have not filed your 2021 taxes, your final day to get it done has arrived. Tomorrow is the tax extension deadline. It's according to the IRS. The deadline was extended to give people even more time to file. More people will be filing a 1040 form to avoid the late filing penalty tomorrow. The IRS provides free filing for those whose adjusted gross income is $73,000 or less. And payments can be made online or by phone. For more information, head to the IRS website.
Also, we want to give you another reminder about the student loan forgiveness application website that is now available. According to the Department of Education, by submitting an application early, it will still be processed, and you won't need to reapply once the program officially opens. The Student Debt Relief Plan will forgive up to $10,000 in federal debt and $20,000 for people who received Pell Grants.
A modern-day serial killer on the loose, now finally behind bars. How one of the 6 victims was able to help police track down the suspect. Plus, a San Antonio family heirloom turned national treasure. The history behind this 90-year-old car and the part it'll play at the Smithsonian.
And we're giving you a live look at live cam. Things are dry right now, but that all could change in just a few hours when the rain might come in. After the break, we'll check in with Mia Montgomery for the latest in the forecast.
We have been waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's finally here.
We're getting a cold front.
The cold front's coming. The rain is on its way.
All of the good things.
All the good
right?
things, Mia.
Is it officially weather, or is it?
Not yet.
I think by Wednesday and Thursday morning, you're probably going to say yes, because it's going to be pretty chilly out there after we get this cooler and drier air in. But yes, the highly advertised front that we have been talking about over the past several days is now approaching the northern reaches of Bexar County as we speak. And along with that wind shift, of course, comes the chance for some much needed rain and thunderstorms through the overnight and into our Monday morning especially. So again, you can see here in the San Antonio area late this Sunday night, not a whole lot going on near the metro. A little bit of a different story closer to Austin up I-35. Some non-severe storms working its way that way, but also this little green line. You see that advancing farther southward? That is that northerly wind shift, the front that is now making its way through portions of Comal County as well as over to Kendall County, already pushing its way into portions of the hill country as well. We will continue to monitor that wind shift, for we could find some rain and storms develop off of the front itself here over the next couple of hours, but we're also keeping eyes on some strong storms, but currently non-severe, that are making their way farther eastward across the northern reaches of Mexico. That is now approaching the Rio Grande. Also have a non-severe, but still likely a strong storm moving its way into the southern portions of Valverde County there, just north of the Del Rio area and near Lake Amistad as well. So likely some lightning strikes, maybe a few rumbles of thunder associated with that. Here's the setup. We have an area of low pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere that is currently situated over the desert southwest. That is pumping in some additional energy as well as rain-making moisture into the Lone Star State. So whenever we do combine that with our next front that is making its way into south central Texas, that's why we are expecting that that rain and thunderstorm activity to increase through the overnight hours and into the early portions of our Monday. Again, you can already see more of that scattered activity approaching the I-35 corridor behind that boundary. And check out these rain-cooled temperatures, just shy of 70 up in Waco, 60 currently in Abilene, 54 in Lubbock. Still warm and muggy here in the Alamo City, 81 degrees officially over at the airport. So here's what we can expect through the overnight hours as we continue to see this front make its way farther southbound. Again, we are expecting the coverage of rain and thunderstorm activity to increase as it moves in from the northwest and pushes farther down to the southeast, especially by wake-up time and morning drive time tomorrow. Notice here on your futurecast, yes, it could be a little soggy and messy in spots as well. So you will want to take the umbrella with you before stepping out and maybe plan on giving yourself a little bit of extra time out the door as well. And then as we head into the afternoon hours, that coverage is expected to decrease and diminish just a little bit. But in theme with those storms that we are seeing coming off of the mountains of Mexico this hour, it is worth mentioning that the Storm Prediction Center has placed areas west of San Antonio, the hill country stretching south to portions of the Winter Garden, and a very low end 1 out of 5 risk for an isolated strong to briefly severe thunderstorm where we may need to monitor for some instances of gusty winds as well as maybe a little bit of small hail. That threat moves farther south throughout our Monday. We also will need to monitor for some pockets of heavy rainfall. For some, we might just pick up on anywhere between 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch, maybe some multi-inch totals, though not completely out of the question. It's just going to depend on where we are able to see some of that heavier rain set up. So overall, plan for a cooler, damp, as well as a windy day. Again, could be a little messy out there first thing tomorrow morning. Pack the umbrella, and we mentioned it being cooler. Temperatures likely not going to budge that much through the morning hours, upper 60s near about 70. And then as we see that rain coverage start to diminish just a little bit more through the afternoon, those temperatures actually start to fall into the low 60s. And then check out those temperatures into midweek as we see that drier air take over via a breezy north wind. Windy tomorrow, 25-30 mile per hour wind gusts. Those temperatures start to drop, waking up in the 40s, highs in the 70s, and then low 80s with more sunshine.
Monday's always a tough day. I said it yesterday, but now we have something to look forward to.
Exactly.
Finally stepping into fall, starting off on Monday.
Absolutely.
Look at
Thanks.
you.
Thanks, Mia. Appreciate it.
Positive, JP. We'll be right back after this.
Lionel and Kathy Sosa could be considered the power couple of the San Antonio art world. Each is already a respected artist in their own right, and together they've created their own masterpiece for everyone to see. Jesse DeGollado shows us where it is along the newest phase of San Pedro Creek Culture Park.
The panels include text.
This was a first. Artist Kathy and Lionel Sosa had never seen all 5 panels of the mural they'd created. What jumped out?
How big they are. They're monumental.
Each began being drawn and painted by hand, becoming porcelain tiles, the vibrant colors just so. An artistic blend of San Antonio history as life evolved around San Pedro Creek.
A story can be told in many ways.
So a team of consultants, community members, and even people who used to live along San Pedro Creek had to make sure they'd gotten it right. This, they say, is their story.
We just drew the pictures.
In such a way, she says, that will enchant and intrigue the passerby.
Creating all of these murals, even after more than 30 years of marriage, they say, really lent new meaning to the word collaboration.
Same canvas at the same time in the same place for a year.
Yeah. So, you know, we're like pushing closeness to the nth degree. But we survived.
We survived. Yeah, that's great.
The former high-powered advertising guru who gave all that up.
I want to spend the rest of my life doing what I always wanted to do as a child.
And the creative spirit who didn't consider herself an artist, but he certainly did.
So he changed my life.
And is this now the legacy they'll someday leave behind?
You're going to make me cry. Yeah, I guess. Sure.
Jesse DeGollado, KSAT 12 News.
Pretty inspiring story there. All right, let's hope this will be inspiring, but I don't know. Can the Dallas Cowboys beat their rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles, without Dak Prescott? Let's go to Greg Simmons. There's not a lot of time for that to actually happen.
Do you want the long answer or the short answer on the question?
Short for the poor fans out there.
That would be no. And tonight, before the regular season tips off this Wednesday, we go one-on-one with Spurs #1 draft pick Jeremy Sochan, coming up tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay.
Yeah, Philly's always a crazy place to play. It's a fun environment. We played a lot of Sunday night games there, and so the guys will be juiced. Both sides will be juiced. Stadium will be rocking.
The Dallas Cowboys played their 5th straight game without Dak Prescott tonight, but they face Eagles in Philadelphia. Can Cooper Rush stay undefeated while the Cowboys win their 5th straight game? We've got all the highlights of the game just ending.
On 1st and goal, Barnes, the cut. Barnes lunging forward. Touchdown, UTSA.
After outscoring FIU on the road this past Friday, the UTSA Roadrunners with a huge game this weekend in the Alamo Dome when they host North Texas. Both teams come into this showdown undefeated in Conference USA.
So what inspired the latest hair transition for you?
Definitely Fiesta, the Fiesta colors.
There you go, our favorite. Before the regular season tips off this Wednesday night, tonight we sit down with the Spurs #1 draft pick Jeremy Sochan to find out, among other things, if he likes being compared to former Spur Dennis Rodman. Hear what the 19-year-old has to say tonight before he suits up in his first ever regular season NBA game. San Antonio FC finishes the regular season with a 2-2 draw. What does that do for their playoff picture? All that plus how many wins will the Spurs produce in their 50th anniversary season? Tonight, you decide. Instant Replay is live and it's right after the Nightbeat. 5 19-year-olds on this team, teenagers.
We still talk about there's so much talent, though.
Yes, to be produced.
To be produced, yes, exactly.
You got it.
Thanks, Greg. We'll see you soon. Well, coming up on the Nightbeat, it's still up in the air. Will Donald Trump testify in the investigation into the deadly Capitol attacks? And now we have comments from the current president.
A neighborhood shaken after the mass shooting in Raleigh, North Carolina. How they're remembering the 5 people who were taken too soon.
And it is not something you see every day, the capture of a suspected serial killer, but even more uncommon is how he was found. Relief in Stockton, California. Police say they have captured a suspected serial killer.
Authorities say when Wesley Brownlee was apprehended, he appeared to be out hunting for another victim. Here's ABC's Rihanna Alley with the details.
Officials in Stockton, California made the announcement Saturday afternoon. A suspected serial killer was under arrest. 43-year-old Wesley Brownlee taken into custody 2 a.m. Saturday morning as police allege he was prowling the streets in search of another victim.
Our surveillance team followed this person while he was driving. We watched his patterns and determined early this morning he was on a mission to kill. We are sure we stopped another killing.
Investigators believe Brownlee is connected to 5 shooting deaths in Stockton and 1 in Oakland. All of the victims, men from 21 to 54 years old. One woman, Natasha, was also shot. She survived her injuries. Ballistics helped police link all of the shootings. She described her terrifying encounter with the gunman.
There was no words exchanged, didn't say anything, didn't come any closer, just started shooting. I just saw flashes.
Investigators had asked for the public's help in identifying this man seen in surveillance video near 2 of the crime scenes.
When the people of our city of Stockton, California come together and we unite, we can get things done.
Renee Myers started a citizens group on Facebook to help police track down the alleged killer.
Our administrative team on this group has worked so hard with the community to try to uncover like every stone and try to identify who this person was who's been terrorizing our community.
Residents in the area are now breathing a sigh of relief.
His capture just shows the diligence of our police force and the commitment that they have to the community.
Brownlee has been booked on a homicide charge, but it's expected he will face more charges when he makes his first court appearance on Tuesday. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
A community in mourning, a community in mourning this weekend after 5 lives were lost in a brutal shooting rampage last Thursday. 52-year-old Nicole Connors was killed along with her dog Sammy. Also killed 49-year-old Susan Karnitz, a mother of 3. 34-year-old Mary Marshall, a Navy veteran, was just weeks away from her wedding, according to her sister. 29-year-old off-duty police officer Gabriel Torres, a Marine who authorities say was gunned down on his way to work. The youngest victim, 16-year-old James Thompson, a high school junior. The community still shocked this happened in their neighborhood.
This community is reeling. There's a senselessness to things like this.
And I know you hear that everywhere, but just how comfortable we always were, how comfortable we are here. And then having to be on guard at your home is challenging.
A 15-year-old suspect now in custody. He's still in the hospital, admitted with life-threatening injuries. The district attorney there, though, says she intends to try the suspect as an adult. As soon as he recovers, he could face life in prison without the possibility of parole if convicted.
Now to the backlash following the life sentence for the Parkland, Florida school shooter. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis calling on his state legislator to change the death penalty law. Under the current Florida death penalty law, which took effect in 2017, the jury must unanimously agree on a death sentence or it's automatically life in prison. But until 2016, a simple majority vote of 7-5 was enough. One of the jurors speaking out saying some jurors wanted to vote for the death penalty to not disappoint the families.
I just disagree on that wording. I think that the Florida law disappointed them.
They need to get in there and they need to fix this. We need a system that is responsive to victims' rights. It can't all be about criminals.
In 2020, the Florida Supreme Court opened the door to change the law back to a majority vote, but so far the legislator has not acted.
President Joe Biden giving some informal comments about the last January 6th committee hearing into the deadly Capitol attacks. Biden was asked about the hearing during an unannounced visit to an ice cream shop in Portland, Oregon yesterday.
I think the testimony and the video are actually devastating. And I've been going out of my way not to comment. Let's see what happens. But I think it's been devastating.
The final hearing included video footage of congressional leaders scrambling to respond to the attack on the Capitol as they took refuge from violent Trump supporters. The Select Committee's investigation is working toward a final report, though it's not clear when it might be released.
They say don't cry over spilled milk. However, maybe your opinion would change if you knew it was done on purpose. Take a look. Animal rebellion protesters poured milk on the floor in shops across the United Kingdom. They're protesting the government's lack of support for farmers and the transition to a plant-based future. Several videos and pictures were shared online by the activist group. Some protesters were arrested after the display, even having to pay more than $112,000 in fines for damages.
All right, let's take another look outside here with live cam over the Alamo City here this Sunday night. It's pretty quiet as of this hour in San Antonio. Temperature still plenty muggy up there, 80 degrees here this 10 p.m. hour. I imagine 24 hours from now, probably going to be a little bit of a different story after we see this front move in and we start to see some of that cooler air usher into South Texas as well. And again, it's on our doorstep here in San Antonio. We will monitor for increasing rain coverage through the overnight and first thing tomorrow morning. You can see already finding some of that thunderstorm activity in our far western counties as that moves in from northern Mexico. So that's the big story through the overnight hours as we see this fall front arrive. Tomorrow's going to be a lot cooler than what we've seen over the past 48 hours. And it's also going to be pretty windy. Again, some wind gusts upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour possible. And then we see those fall-like temperatures move in for the week. So again, don't be surprised, especially across portions of the hill country and the Edwards Plateau. If you wake up to a couple of rumbles of thunder through the overnight hours, definitely plan on taking the umbrella with you for the morning drive as well as the drive to school. We'll have another full look at all of those fall temperatures coming our way in just a few.
Protection against COVID-19 is not the only benefit when you get your COVID vaccine. We have the student results that breaks down other benefits to your overall health.
And a piece of history in Texas now heading to D.C., where this donated vehicle will be on display for the very first time.
A San Antonio family's precious heirloom is going to the world's largest museum. The beloved 1932 Ford Model B has been in the McKinney family for generations.
And now they're sharing it with the Smithsonian. The descendants of the original owner shared its history with the Night Team's Patty Santos.
This car is going to the National Museum of American History, Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C.
This rare 1932 Ford Model B is a well-known part of American history.
Most of these were lost to history, so it's very rare to find one preserved this way, intact.
It's been a McKinney family relic for generations.
The original owner of the car is my great-grandfather, Del McKinney, and I came to know it because of my grandfather. He passed it down to my grandfather, Alonzo.
And that's partly the reason it's headed to a national museum. It tells a part of Black history.
As it rolls out of the family garage, the next time the family sees this car, it's going to be in a museum.
Curator Kathleen France says it will be the first vehicle in the museum originally owned by a Black American.
It can tell multiple stories about Delbert McKinney being a Pullman car porter and his wife Dottie, who is secretary for the union here in San Antonio.
Dale worked for the Katy Railroad line that went from San Antonio to Chicago during the segregation era. Owning a car was a better way to travel for Dale. The car then passed on to his youngest son, Alonzo Sr., a proud airman. A couple of his air-based registration stickers are still on the bumper. His children and grandchildren all remember taking slow joyrides around town.
Tried 20 or 30. It didn't go very fast. And we just go around the block.
Selling it didn't feel right. Restoring it was too overwhelming. Donating it was the answer.
Their family treasure will become a national treasure.
I know my dad, and I know how proud he would be that it's going into service.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
The COVID vaccine was a groundbreaking step forward in the health of Americans. In today's Health Minute, ABC's Jay O'Brien explains how new studies show there may be benefits beyond protection against COVID.
The COVID vaccine was a bright light in combating the coronavirus. Now there may be more benefits. A recent study from Case Western University showed that individuals who received the COVID vaccine were less likely to develop other medical conditions than those who were not vaccinated. The study, which spanned from 2020 to 2021 across 57 different medical institutions, looked at adults diagnosed with COVID-19 and compared those vaccinated to the unvaccinated. Researchers found people who got their COVID shots had lower rates of diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, thyroid disorders, and mental disorders, up to 90 days after being infected with COVID compared to those who didn't. There is still a great deal of research being done in this area, and health officials say this could help boost support behind the protection that the vaccine brings, and serving as a reminder of the importance of getting vaccinated and boosted against COVID-19. With this Medical Minute, I'm Jay O'Brien, ABC News.
All right, that cold front is hours away.
It's getting
Closer and closer. Really, by the minute, it's on our doorstep here in Bexar County. And yes, good things come with it. Not just the fall temperatures. All you fall lovers probably going to like this week, especially compared to the warmer than average temperatures we've had over the past week, but it also brings with it that chance for some rain. Again, as of right now, this hour, still pretty quiet near the San Antonio metro, but we do have plenty of rain falling well off to our northwest of the Austin area, across portions of the Big Country. And also, we are still monitoring these strong but currently non-severe thunderstorms pushing across the Rio Grande and now arriving in the far western reaches of the area. A little thunderstorm there near Del Rio, really on either side of Del Rio. That stretches up into the far northwestern reaches of Kinney County and into southern Edwards County as well. All of that activity pushing farther eastward here. So we will continue to monitor the radar pretty closely through the overnight hours. As you can see here on your Futurecast, again, as we see this boundary move southbound through the overnight, we have plenty of moisture in place. It's been so humid over the past weekend, and we have all of that energy pumping into our atmosphere from that area of low pressure near the desert southwest. All of those are ingredients that we need to make some of this rain and storm activity as well. So we will continue to monitor for that coverage, expected to increase through the overnight and again for the Monday morning drive. It's not going to rain all day here in San Antonio, but better chances of fine reminding some of that soggy activity is first thing tomorrow. So be sure to check back in before stepping out the door for the morning commute, drive to school, and again, plan on giving yourself just a little bit of extra time before we see that activity scatter out just a little bit more and diminish in coverage through the afternoon hours. But still, it's possible we have a few isolated showers left over by late tomorrow afternoon and into Monday evening. The biggest thing to monitor, heavy rainfall. For some, we only pick up on totals in the range of 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch. But for others, where those heavier downpours and stronger thunderstorms are able to set up, a few totals in between 1 to 2+ inches, certainly a possibility. That's also where we will need to monitor road conditions for the Monday morning drive. And then it is the lowest of the concerns, but still an isolated strong to briefly severe thunderstorm can't completely be ruled out before the day is done tomorrow. And then, of course, as we see those winds flip in from the north for our Monday and into our Tuesday, going to be pretty gusty. Wind gusts upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour, certainly possible there as well. But we mentioned checking back in tomorrow morning. If you scan that QR code there, that'll take you to a little link where you can download our KSAT Weather Authority app. There you can check the interactive radar as well. So that's always a good tool just to have in your back pocket. With the cloudy skies and some of that rain cold air, at least in the area, those temperatures through the morning hours likely not going to fluctuate a whole lot. I think upper 60s, close to about 70 is where we will sit here in San Antonio. And then as we see that rain coverage decrease through the afternoon, we start to see that breezy northeast wind filter in some of that cooler air. Then those temperatures will start to fall through the low 60s by tomorrow evening and even more so into tomorrow night. And then we start to see that drier air move in as well. You definitely will notice more of that dryness in the atmosphere here, especially by midweek. And that is what's going to really help those temperatures tumble. By Tuesday, we wake up in the mid-50s. Check out Wednesday and into Thursday mornings, waking up in the mid to upper 40s. Currently in the forecast here in San Antonio, before we start to see a little bit more moisture work its way in as we head into the second half of the work week. More sunshine in store, especially by Wednesday. Yes, mornings are chilly. Afternoons not bad at all, in the 70s and then climbing into the low 80s by late week. Overall, it's going to start to feel a whole lot better around here.
And congratulations to Mia. It's been over a month that she's worked here and she finally gets to report on rain.
First time. Yes, so excited.
We're finally getting a taste of fall 16 days into October.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Thanks for that, Mia. All right, the final showdown between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers dominated theaters. Up next, the weekend box office results.
Didn't ask how you were doing.
Amsterdam fell to 5th place on ticket sales of $2.9 million. The Woman King held steady in 4th place, earning $3.7 million. Lyle Lyle Crocodile dropped to number 3, taking in $7.4 million. After 2 weekends on top, Smile fell to 2nd, but $12.4 million pushed the horror flick past the $70 million mark in domestic box office. Halloween Ends began its run in 1st place with $41.3 million. Less than expected, but still the best debut of any film since Nope back in July. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
San Antonio FC is headed into the playoffs after tying a United Soccer League record.
And we are taking you live inside the Cowboys locker room in Philadelphia. For more on What's in Instant Replay, let's head to Greg Simmons.
I can give you a hint, there's not a lot of celebrating.
Yeah,
just for the record. And we're about to start week 9 of the high school football season, but not before we check out the best of big game coverage coming up tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay. After ending the regular season with a 2-2 draw, San Antonio FC is getting a bye in the first round of the playoffs after tying a United Soccer League record. And now that the Cowboys game is over, we'll take you inside the locker room to find out details about what happened in Philadelphia. This is Jake Montoya making a name for himself with the latest win for the Southside Cardinals. He's very much a part of our best of big game coverage tonight, as well as a brand new edition of 12's Top 12 that includes a new entry. All that plus, we sit down with the Spurs' #1 draft pick tonight before the regular season tips off on Wednesday. Instant Replay is live, and it is next.
Not so happy with the Cowboys.
Not the Cowboys, but we have lots to talk about the Spurs.
Good.
The young Spurs.
Yes.
Young Spurs, young Bucks. We're looking forward to it, Greg. Thank you.
We'll be right back. That is all our time for now. For all of us here at KSAT, thanks for watching. Be sure to tune into GMSA for all your latest overnight news.
An all-new Instant Replay starts right now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a brand new edition of Instant Replay. The rivalry between the Cowboys and the Eagles in the NFC East is always heated despite their records, but this game this year even more ramped up above expected levels since the Eagles came in tonight's Sunday Night Football matchup with an undefeated 5-0 record against the Cowboys 4-1, and the only way to decide who is the beast to the East is on game day.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
And once again, Dak Prescott would be a no-go for the 5th straight game after breaking a bone in his throwing thumb in the season opener. Now it's up to Cooper Rush again in the Dallas D. Early second quarter, after a crucial defensive penalty, the Eagles get on the final score. The Cowboys fall 26-17, dropping to 4-2 overall. After the game, head coach Mike McCarthy gave us his thoughts on the slow start.
Obviously, the start of the game was in their favor. Obviously, we got behind, but I think like anything, the big thing we talked about in the locker room was just the emotion of the game. You knew that coming in, and you got to be better in the discipline penalties. We had too many discipline penalties, and we had three giveaways. So there's a lot of momentum, which you have in these types of games. This an excellent competitive arena to compete in, and I thought we punched back every time they hit us with some things, and then we got going there in the second half, and particularly in the third quarter, running the ball, and the up-tempo offense obviously was a help, but you're trying to get to it, in the first half, was trying to do it after a first down in a series, and just couldn't get it going. So just got to be cleaner. Had some young guys that we're still growing in some areas on offense. We knew that coming in here, and it's part of the way we've been playing. But the emphasis all week was running the football and stopping the run. So, and that obviously was a big part of this game.
All right, next up for the Cowboys, the Lions at home Sunday at noon. We'll see if Dak is back for that game. The 4-1 Giants hosting the 3-2 Ravens today. Ravens are up 10 in the fourth quarter before the Giants scored back-to-back touchdowns. Saquon Barkley scored the game winner with under 2 minutes to play from 1 yard out. Giants take it 24-20, improving to 5-1. Daniel Jones had 2 touchdown passes. Battle of the 4-1 teams. The best win 27-10. Aaron Rodgers sacked 4 times, had 1 fumble. Niners and Falcons. Running back Jeff Wilson Jr. goes up the middle to try and get a first down, but he fumbles the ball. It's picked up by A.J. Terrell, who brings it all the way back, but drops the ball before getting into the end zone. His teammate Jalen Hawkins recovers the ball in the end zone for the touchdown. Marcus Mariota was 13 of 14 for 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Falcons win 28-14. Both teams are 3-3. Bengals at the Saints just over 2 on the conversion, but Brady's pass over the middle is knocked away. No good. Steelers hang on to win it 20-18. Tampa Bay is now 3-3. Panthers to the Rams. Conversion after that, and the Colts win it 34-27. So here's your local connections, by the way, from the NFL in San Antonio. First off, of course, is Trey Flowers out of Justin for the Bengals. 4 tackles, 3 solo. At the Saints, Marcus Davenport out of Stevens, 1 quarterback hit. Seahawks, Tariq Woolen out of UTSA, 5 solo tackles, 1 pass defense, 1 interception, and 1 fumble recovery. Time now for tonight's Instant Replay poll question. How many wins will the Spurs have in the 2022-2023 season? 50 or more, 40, 30, 20 or less? Vote now. We'll have the results at the end of the broadcast tonight. When we come back, we'll have more Cowboys and Eagles post-game coverage, but first. So what inspired the latest hair transition for you?
Definitely Fiesta, the Fiesta colors, culture. And I think, just a lot of people and, social media around me, they all said, do Fiesta. So I was like, why not?
He asked, and you told him, right? He's a rookie, definitely wants to embrace the San Antonio community. We go one-on-one with 19-year-old rookie Jeremy Sohan, who shares his thoughts on what he wants to do this season, what he thinks of the comparison between him and former Spurs bad boy Dennis Rodman. San Antonio FC has wrapped up the regular season. Now they get a bye week as the playoffs start this week. And who currently holds the best record in college football in San Antonio? We have the details, plus the best of BGC, 12's Top 12, our Scholar Athlete of the Week. When Instant Replay continues live next.